And I'm Michael Marsh. The alarm's been sounded, but authorities are slow to respond. Two major derailments within a year and people died. It's because of a new type of crude oil with such volatile properties. It took experts off guard. Bakken oil is transported by train due to a lack of pipelines, and that's the danger. BNSF Railroad, which operates in Louisiana, isn't waiting on new federal regulations. It's buying 5,000 new upgraded tank cars to transport the Bakken oil. Local leaders are powerless. Congress is upset, and nothing may be done until this summer. Now a follow-up to my report where we get the crude facts. And as it turns out, the Federal Department of Transportation offers first responder training on Bakken crude at the end of this month. And I'm Michael Marsh, but deputies don't have a whole lot to go on. News 2's Brittany Weiss has more on this situation, and her story is new at 10. Thank you, Brittany. State police released dramatic video of the moment an RV careened across I-10 and flipped. This video is new at 10. It was recorded by the dash cam on an 18-wheeler. Watch as the driver lost control across the median. Just before the video shuts off, the RV flipped. And this is the end result. Amazingly, only the driver had minor injuries. State police say the front tire blew out, causing that crash. In Ascension Parish, a mom says her son's a hero, not a criminal, even though he's charged as one. His arrest came after a home invasion at this house on Hamilton Street in Gonzales. The guys who busted in face charges, and so does the son of a woman who had a gun shoved in her face. It's because of how and when he tried to protect his family. And no charges filed in a shooting involving the son of an area police chief. Despite countless studies disproving the link between vaccines and autism, parents still don't want their kids to get shot. It's not a runaway bride, but the runaway decorator the cops are after. Good evening. 2-year-old Ikeliana Latham was found unharmed in Baton Rouge, but police are tight-lipped about the circumstances. Now, this is a picture of Taylor Latham with her daughter. Our team coverage continues with News 2's Mark Armstrong live from Louisiana Avenue, where the mom's body was found. Thanks for that. Now, another mom is charged with killing a baby she had just delivered in Slidell. Lee Turner was convicted yesterday for killing co-workers Edward Gertner and Randy Cheney. News 2's Alexa Vogue live at the courthouse in downtown Baton Rouge with more on today in court. I'm sure it'll be very emotional. Thanks, Alexis. 3 bicyclists survived a hit and run last night on Nicholson Drive south of LSU. Collins went undrafted due to his relationship to a pregnant woman who was murdered. Police say he is not a suspect. A calmer day at the Department of Child and Family Services in Baton Rouge. It's about trying to heal from the violence of last week, and Karen Travers has more. Lynch was sworn in as Attorney General the day the riot in Baltimore began. Here at home, Governor Jindal has another book coming out in October. It comes a day after the Senate approved a bill that could make medical marijuana available to some, an attempt to provide more money for road construction across the state. Tax Committee approved 2 bills that could mean billions for road and bridge improvements, raising awareness about advancements in treatments for arthritis. The CDC says a booster shot for whooping cough given to preteens loses effectiveness. That vaccine's effective about 73% of the time within the first year, but after 2 to 4 years, it falls to about a third. Young children get a 5-dose series of the vaccine with the 6th dose at 11 or 12. Whooping cough cases were reduced by 80% since the pre-vaccine era, but recent epidemics question how well vaccines work now. The U.S. had 48,000 cases in 2012. That's the most since the 50s. Looking forward, the CDC says it needs a better understanding of how the bacteria works, followed by an improved vaccine. And whooping cough is contagious, and the CDC recommends women getting vaccinated during every pregnancy. Yeah, green bananas, no less.
Green bananas? Yeah, I don't think I've ever had one of those. Not on purpose, at least.
It's a secret.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna...
Tom Brady is going to lose about $845,000 per game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Little water action.
Can we hear a 90 in there somehow?
Maybe. I think we're going to flirt with it, but I think we'll probably
I don't want to
say-
flirt with it.
All right, Native Son basically comes home, an LSU graduate who will address new graduates tonight. Well, the whole theme today was that he is fearless. He can get the job done. Of course, he's courting the religious right and the far-right arm of the Republican Party. That's where he's trying to carve his niche to get a little bit of traction for his campaign. He says he is fearless and he doesn't worry about political correctness. And I'm Michael Marsh. The alarm's been sounded, but authorities are slow to respond. 2 major derailments within a year and people died. It's because of a new type of crude oil with such volatile properties. It took experts off guard. Bakken oil is transported by train due to a lack of pipelines, and that's the danger. The oil comes from the Bakken oil shale field of North Dakota, and the train cars filled with it are sometimes called Bakken bombs. They roll right into Louisiana. I looked at what's being done to make moving it safer. It's a story from the WBRZ News 2 investigative unit. So regulators looked at the rail cars. They zeroed in on the workhorse of the industry, the DOT-111, used to haul liquids, a lingering issue regulators have tried to change for years. The design of these tank cars, the DOT-111s, goes back to the 1950s, and Canadian regulators call them rolling bombs.
Good afternoon, Chairman Denham.
U.S. regulators told Congress not to change the design invites disaster. The railroads agree. BNSF Railroad, which operates in Louisiana, isn't waiting on new federal regulations. It's buying 5,000 new upgraded tank cars to transport the Bakken oil. In the meantime, the railroads and the feds agreed that oil trains should go slower in populated areas. The railroads will increase inspections of their tracks and equipment, and they'll do more testing on the oil to gauge volatility and to label it properly for transport. But the U.S. hasn't, and the cars and the explosive Bakken crude they haul roll through Louisiana. Local leaders are powerless. Congress is upset, and nothing may be done until this summer. Now a follow-up to my report where we get the crude facts. It's the same plea from authorities in St. James Parish, the destination of the trains. The Bakken oil trains ride the rails almost the entire length of Louisiana, from Shreveport to Alexandria to just west of Baton Rouge to St. James. We can find no specific training involving the properties of Bakken crude, even from state police, the lead agency in case of a derailment and fire.
Narrow them patterns down.
The LSU Fire Emergency Training Institute drills first responders on how to fight oil fires, but it admits it hasn't had training using the Bakken crude. Feds are in the cumbersome and time-consuming process of writing new regulations that take months. Not fast enough for some who may have to face the danger of a Bakken bomb.
Something needs to be done. And unfortunately, there's nothing at the local level we can do. There's nothing at the state level we can do.
And as it turns out, the Federal Department of Transportation offers first responder training on Bakken crude at the end of this month.